Let's be honest for a moment. Most men don't gently fall in love in a soft, poetic way. They stumble into it without warning. They trip over feelings they didn't plan for. They crash straight into emotions they swore they didn't have. And once it happens, they fight it the way they fight a bad flu, by denying it, ignoring it, and hoping it goes away on its own. He'll say things like, "I'm not ready for anything serious," or "I'm just focusing on myself right now." What that really means is he's emotionally sensitive and cautious, but he still enjoys attention, admiration, and the comfort of knowing someone cares enough to like his photos or notice his presence. That contradiction lives quietly inside him. But here's the interesting part. A man can confidently swear that love doesn't affect him at all, and still find himself late at night staring at his phone, wondering why one specific woman keeps showing up in his thoughts. He'll ask himself, "Why can't I stop thinking about her?" And that question alone tells you everything. That is the exact moment he's already caught, even if he doesn't want to admit it. And that realization scares him deeply, because to a man, love means vulnerability. Vulnerability feels dangerous. It feels like giving someone else the controller to his emotional video game and trusting them not to crash it, erase progress, or press buttons he spent years protecting. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a man fall so deeply and intensely in love that it actually scares him in a quiet, undeniable way. Yes, even the men who believe they are impossible to catch, the ones who think they are immune, distant, or too independent for emotional attachment. This is real psychology, not wishing, hoping, or manifesting feelings under a full moon. This is about understanding how the male emotional system actually works beneath the surface he shows the world. Every man has something like an emotional on and off switch, and it's controlled by rhythm. If he always knows what you'll say, how you'll react, and what mood you'll be in, his brain slowly turns off excitement. There's no mystery left to explore. At that point, you don't stand out emotionally anymore. You become comfortable, safe, predictable, and easy to overlook. Like emotional wallpaper that blends into the background. Pleasant, familiar, and forgettable. Men don't fall in love with sameness. They fall for contrast. They respond to warmth mixed with humor, softness mixed with spark, comfort balanced with challenge. One moment you make him feel admired and appreciated, and the next moment you tease him lightly, like he's part of a private joke only the two of you understand. That emotional rise and fall keeps his brain flooded with dopamine, the same chemical that keeps him scrolling endlessly on his phone at 2 in the morning without realizing how much time has passed. For example, he says, "You look beautiful tonight." You smile and calmly reply, "I know, but it's still sweet that you noticed." In that instant, you combined appreciation with playful confidence. His ego didn't know whether to feel proud or intrigued, so it chose both. His emotional system short-circuited in the best possible way. That's important to remember because men don't actually crave endless validation. Constant praise gets boring. What they crave is emotional voltage, that subtle spark that makes them feel alive around you. Another powerful trigger is his protective instinct, and it has to be activated without making you look needy. Despite the confidence, sarcasm, or strong exterior, most men secretly want to protect something meaningful, not because they see women as weak or fragile, but because protection makes them feel useful, capable, and purposeful. So you create small moments where he can step into that role naturally. Ask his opinion on something simple, like which option looks better, or casually mention that you fixed something yourself. These small moments invite him in without pressure and allow his instinct to wake up quietly and naturally. He might pause and say, "Wait, you fixed that all by yourself?" You smile, calm and confident, and say something like, "Yeah, I did, but I wouldn't have minded an extra hand." That's all it takes. You didn't plead. You didn't act desperate. You simply gave him a small doorway to step into. And when you do that, you've triggered something powerful in his mind. Suddenly, he's invested. Helping you isn't just a chore or favor, it connects his strength, his ability, his sense of competence to your life. And when he realizes that his contribution makes a difference, his attachment grows quietly, naturally, and deeply. It's subtle, but effective, and it's not manipulation. It's simply understanding the way men bond and respond emotionally. When he feels useful without being pressured or used, his affection intensifies faster than he expected. Another key element is the power of emotional reflection, which is often overlooked but extremely effective. Most people listen only to respond, waiting for their turn to talk, to offer advice, or to prove a point. Instead, you should listen to mirror. Pay attention to his energy, the way he speaks about things that excite him, his work, his goals at the gym, even his odd fascination with overpriced coffee or hobbies that seem trivial to the outside world. Match his energy subtly, reflect his enthusiasm, and show that you notice the small details that matter to him. You could say something simple like, "You really light up when you talk about that. I like seeing that side of you." It sounds small, casual even, but for men, words that recognize their emotions are rare and powerful. You're not just hearing him, you're truly seeing him. And when a man feels emotionally seen, it changes everything. His mind quietly marks you as the one person who genuinely understands him. That recognition breaks down walls he didn't even realize were there, and they begin to melt away slowly, like ice under a warm sun. It's equally important to show your own world, not just your interest in his. Nothing makes a man step back faster than realizing a woman's entire emotional state depends on him. The quickest way to make him fall is to live fully, independently, and vibrantly. Talk about your passions, your dreams, your friends, and the things that bring you joy, regardless of his presence. Show that your life is already rich and fulfilling. When a man sees a woman whose world is complete and independent, he doesn't just admire her, he wants to be part of it. Men don't fall for women who orbit around them. They fall for women whose worlds are so captivating that he wants to enter, contribute, and belong. When you are the center of your own universe, he sees joining your orbit as a privilege, not a right. Up to this point, you've built attraction, curiosity, and emotional tension. But the real transformation begins when his heart quietly whispers, "Wait, what if I lose her?" That's when fear enters. Not panic, not anxiety, but the deep, beautiful, terrifying fear that tells him he's emotionally invested far more than he expected. That fear is the beginning of true attachment, the moment when desire and respect intersect, and when the emotional pull of your presence becomes undeniable. From here, the mind of a man falling in love becomes a fascinating landscape. How do you create subtle jealousy without games? How do you craft an emotional safety loop that draws him closer and makes him want to commit, even if he swore he never would? That's the next stage, the fear of falling, and how to navigate it while maintaining your power, your independence, and your allure. Understanding this is the key to stepping fully into the mind of a man who is falling and doesn't know how to stop himself. Why he pulls away right before he falls in love is one of the most fascinating and misunderstood aspects of male psychology, and the truth is far more interesting than most people realize. Here's the wild, unfiltered truth. When a man begins to catch real feelings for someone, he doesn't usually smile or feel lighthearted about it the way you might expect. He panics quietly inside, almost invisibly, but the intensity of it is real. Suddenly, he becomes unusually busy, diving into tasks or projects that he previously ignored, overthinking things in his head, or simply asking for space without a clear explanation. Relax. This behavior doesn't mean he's confused about you. It doesn't mean he's losing interest or that he's incapable of love. What it actually means is that he's confused about himself. His emotions are moving faster than his mind can process, and he doesn't yet have the framework to understand the intensity of what he's feeling. Love, to him, is like emotional skydiving. He's suddenly free-falling in a way he never expected, and most men only realize they are falling after they've already jumped. That rush of vulnerability, that sudden exposure of the heart and the unknown, is completely unfamiliar territory. His brain immediately reacts. It screams retreat, because losing control, even emotionally, feels like losing power. Men are wired to feel safest when they maintain control over their world, and love, by its very nature, threatens that control. But here's the paradox. That exact vulnerability, that surrender to uncertainty, is exactly where love lives. It exists not in stability or predictability, but in the free fall, in the thrilling, terrifying, beautiful chaos of letting your guard down and being emotionally exposed to someone else. So what do you do when he starts pulling back, when he disappears or becomes quiet, when it seems like he's retreating into a space you can't reach? The answer is simple, and it's counterintuitive. Nothing. Don't chase him. Don't flood him with messages, explanations, or attempts to convince him to stay. Don't suddenly turn into a motivational speaker sending 3 good morning texts, an essay of feelings, or a TED talk about why he should love you. None of that works. Instead, stay composed. Maintain your rhythm. Keep your life and your emotions steady, because when you don't freak out, when you resist the urge to chase or over-explain, you communicate something rare and incredibly valuable in modern dating: emotional stability. This stability is a currency that very few people can offer, and it is magnetic to a man who is panicking in the middle of a free fall of feelings. When he notices you're calm, he registers it in a way that changes the dynamic completely. He thinks to himself, "She's not trying to trap me. She's not pressuring me. She's safe." And in that moment, fear slowly turns into trust, and trust gradually turns into attachment. He doesn't come back because you begged, because you chased, or because you forced him to feel something. He comes back because your calmness, your peace, feels better than his panic, and he instinctively seeks the emotional relief that only you can provide. The next element to understand, once he begins to feel secure but still emotionally invested, is the gentle jealousy trigger. Jealousy, when applied ethically and subtly, is like a secret ingredient. Powerful, magical, and extremely effective, but dangerous if overused. Men are wired to compete. It's part of their biology and psychology, even if they never openly admit it. The moment they sense that another man could potentially have the woman they care about, a part of their brain reacts immediately and almost unconsciously. Something deep inside whispers, "Mine, no touchy." This is a natural protective and competitive instinct, and it can be a positive force in attraction when it is triggered in a thoughtful and respectful way. So, how do you spark this instinct without turning it into drama, a soap opera, or unnecessary games? The answer is simple: subtlety. Make small, almost invisible gestures that remind him you are desired, appreciated, and naturally attractive to others without boasting or creating conflict. For instance, casually mention that a co-worker complimented your outfit or that a random person at a cafe tried to flirt. Say it in passing, shrug it off lightly, move on without emphasizing it. You are not showing off. You are simply demonstrating that attraction follows you effortlessly, that you are someone who is naturally admired and respected. And here is the most important part of this subtle game. Always balance the hint of jealousy with warmth and reassurance. After mentioning that you were noticed or admired by someone else, you can immediately pivot and show him that, despite external attention, he holds a unique and irreplaceable place in your world. For example, you might add softly, "But honestly, no one gets my time unless they can make me laugh like you do." With this one line, you've done something extraordinary. You've created tension, curiosity, and a spark of mild jealousy, but then you immediately gave him comfort, connection, and reassurance that he is special. This combination, the push of mild emotional competition balanced with the pull of warmth, is deeply compelling. It keeps his mind engaged, his emotions stirred, and his heart tethered, all without pressure or drama. You have now created an invisible emotional thread that pulls him toward you, a delicate mixture of desire, respect, challenge, and security. When done correctly, this approach ensures that he remains deeply invested, thinking about you constantly and emotionally drawn in ways that are difficult to resist. You've given him tension and curiosity, but also safety and warmth, the perfect blend that keeps a man engaged, intrigued, and increasingly attached, without ever forcing him into a corner or making him feel trapped. His ego is fully awake now, alert and sharp, while his heart softens in ways he hadn't anticipated, and his brain is quietly screaming, "Don't mess this up. Don't make a mistake here." That is the exact moment when jealousy, used ethically, becomes a subtle and powerful spark. It is not manipulation. It is not a game. It is a gentle nudge that reminds him you are a prize, that you are desired by others, that you have options, and that he needs to pay attention to the rare opportunity he has before him. That tiny emotional flame makes him pause, makes him measure his words, makes him notice you in a new way. It awakens instincts that are not about control or pressure, but about admiration, respect, and the desire to protect and contribute to someone truly exceptional. The next step, once this spark has awakened him, is building what I call the emotional safety loop. This is one of the most crucial elements of making a man fall deeply in love. Men fall hardest for women who can make them feel both excitement and safety at the same time. Too much excitement, constant unpredictability or chaos, and he becomes overwhelmed, fatigued, or even scared. Too much safety, too much predictability and calm, and he zones out. He stops thinking about you, stops craving connection, and may begin to take you for granted. The trick, the secret, is to blend chaos with a cushion, intensity with security. You want him to feel the thrill of emotional adventure, but always know he has a safe landing spot with you. Here's how to implement this. First, match his emotional temperature. When he is playful, be playful in response. Laugh, tease, engage, match his energy and rhythm. When he is serious, pause, listen, and meet him on that level. Respond with sincerity, with empathy, with understanding. You become emotionally bilingual, fluent in both his light-hearted energy and his deeper, more serious side. This creates a connection in which he feels seen, acknowledged, and understood on all levels. He begins to trust that you are a safe person, that he can express himself freely, and that you won't judge or exploit his vulnerability. Second, reward openness whenever it appears. If he shares something personal, something real, something vulnerable, do not weaponize it later. Never use it against him or as leverage. Nothing kills attachment and emotional intimacy faster than emotional blackmail or manipulation. Instead, respond with genuine appreciation for his trust. A short, simple, and sincere phrase like, "I respect that you shared that with me," goes further than any elaborate speech or long message. It validates his emotional honesty and reinforces the idea that he can be authentic with you without fear of judgment or consequence. Third, remain grounded during storms. When he is distant, moody, or temporarily withdrawn, do not spiral. Do not panic. Do not chase him with anxiety, excessive questioning, or emotional overreactions. Let him experience his own emotional weather while you remain the calm forecast he can always return to. Your composure signals stability and maturity. It reassures him that no matter how chaotic his emotions become, he has a place of safety and peace with you. Once he realizes that he can be vulnerable, express both his masculine and sensitive sides freely, and still be accepted, adored, and supported, attachment becomes inevitable. He becomes addicted not to drama or chaos, but to the relief, calm, and acceptance he experiences when he is with you. You transform into the emotional home he never consciously knew he was searching for, the one he now cannot imagine being without. Equally important is embodying the "you're the prize" energy. At the center of every lasting love story lies a simple but profound principle. You can adore him, flirt with him, daydream about him, and enjoy his presence, but you never make him your whole story. A man does not fall for the woman who chases him desperately. He falls for the woman who inspires him to chase her, who ignites his desire to earn a place in her life. Demonstrate through your actions and presence that your life is rich, alive, meaningful, and full, with or without him. Let your energy say, "You would be lucky to join my world, to experience my life, to be part of my chaos and joy." Men do not fall for perfection, they fall for rarity, for someone who has purpose, boundaries, and direction. Rare women have options, a clear sense of self, and an independence that signals strength. When you radiate that energy authentically, he experiences two powerful emotions simultaneously: admiration and fear. Admiration because he knows he has encountered something unique and exceptional. Fear because he realizes he could lose it if he does not act consciously, intentionally, and with care. That intersection of desire, respect, and gentle fear is where deep, lasting attraction and attachment are created. Finally, the emotional climax begins to emerge. At first, he thinks about you occasionally, once a day, then several times. Slowly, you occupy his mind more consistently. Your presence, your words, your laughter, your subtle cues of independence and emotional stability begin to infiltrate his thoughts in ways that are profound and unavoidable. This is the stage where love ceases to be casual or optional. It becomes a quiet but relentless force, pulling him toward you, making him aware of the depth of his feelings, and slowly, steadily, preparing him for full emotional surrender. Then he'll be in the middle of a meeting, staring at spreadsheets, numbers, charts, and graphs, trying to focus, but his mind keeps wandering. He might think, "She'd roast me if she saw how serious I look right now," and that thought sneaks in uninvited, distracting him from even the most important work. He'll attempt to occupy himself, to regain control of his attention, by throwing himself into the gym, focusing on projects at work, meeting friends, or diving into hobbies he usually enjoys, but none of it fully works. That's because you've planted yourself into the very rhythm of his emotional patterns. You've entered the spaces in his mind that he cannot ignore. You are the first thought that brings him comfort when the world feels overwhelming, and simultaneously, you are the last thought that excites him before he sleeps at night. That duality, the calm and the spark, you provide is irresistible and quietly unavoidable. It creates a loop in his mind where your presence is felt even when you are absent. He starts noticing that he doesn't just want you around. He needs your presence to feel complete, and that realization terrifies him in the most profound way. He is no longer simply attracted. He is emotionally attached, deeply invested, and the intensity of that attachment surprises him because he didn't anticipate the speed or depth of his own feelings. It is both thrilling and frightening because attachment brings responsibility, vulnerability, and a sense of emotional exposure he rarely experiences with anyone else. And then comes the final truth, the paradox of love that many never understand. You do not make a man fall in love by attempting to control his heart, by trying to manipulate his feelings, or by pressuring him into emotional surrender. You make a man fall by mastering your own heart. You cultivate your emotional independence, your stability, and your ability to remain playful, grounded, and a little mysterious. When he sees that you are self-sufficient, emotionally intelligent, and capable of joy and laughter even in your own world, his instinct shifts quietly but powerfully. He no longer seeks to avoid love because he feels safe with you. He becomes a protector, motivated not by obligation or fear, but by desire and respect. He wants to contribute, to engage, to be present, and to show up in ways he never thought he would. Because men do not fall for women who are needy or desperate. They do not fall for those who rely entirely on them for validation or emotional support. They fall for women who inspire them, women who remind them of the kind of man they aspire to be. That aspiration is magnetic. It is far more compelling than control, manipulation, or pursuit. Being that woman, the one who can make him laugh until he forgets the stress of his day, the one who can make him think deeply about his choices and his values, the one who provides a safe emotional space for him to explore vulnerability without fear, is not manipulation. It is magnetism in its purest form. You do not need to chase, beg, or overanalyze his responses. You simply live your life fully, remain grounded in your emotions, and allow him to experience you as both a challenge and a comfort. He will be drawn to you because you demonstrate through your actions, your energy, and your consistency that you are not dependent on him for happiness, but that he has the opportunity to be part of a life that is already extraordinary. Your laughter, your confidence, your subtle playfulness, and your slight air of mystery create an emotional gravity that he cannot resist. Over time, he begins to recognize that losing you would not only take away his connection to someone he admires and desires, but would also leave a void in his emotional life that no one else could fill. This is the culmination of every strategy, every subtle move, every moment of emotional rhythm, reflection, independence, and gentle challenge you have created. He becomes fully aware that he is emotionally invested. He begins to realize that you are more than someone attractive or enjoyable to be around. You are a central figure in the landscape of his thoughts, a presence that shapes how he experiences his days and nights. The intensity of his feelings grows because it is based on genuine connection, mutual respect, admiration, and the fact that you have cultivated a life that is rich, independent, and captivating on its own. You have not coerced him or manipulated him. You have simply demonstrated through your authentic self that you are remarkable and that he would be fortunate to hold a place in your life. By the time he fully comprehends this, the transformation is complete. He is no longer just experiencing desire or simple attraction. He is feeling the weight, depth, and intensity of attachment combined with respect and admiration. He may not be able to articulate it fully to himself, but he knows he cannot walk away, because you represent both safety and excitement, challenge and comfort, independence and connection. The paradox of love is that the more grounded and self-possessed you are, the deeper his feelings for you will grow. By mastering your own emotions, remaining playful yet serious when appropriate, and being consistently authentic, you create a magnetic field that draws him toward you with irresistible force. He wants to protect you, to invest in you, to engage fully with the woman who reminds him of his best self, and that is the final truth of love. It is not about control, it is about mastery. Mastery of yourself and your energy, which naturally compels him to fall in love in a deep, meaningful, and lasting way.